Welcome to the news on Canal de English. I am Elie Smith, sitting in for Henry Kejang Atembe. Good evening. The headlines. Tomorrow is International Women's Day. In this news, preparations on how women folk are gearing for the great day of tomorrow. Prime Minister Philemon Yang is in the Northwest region. Will this tour be better than the preceding one? That is the great question. The government of Cameroon is supporting the candidature of Colonel Hamad Kalkaba Malboum in the upcoming National Association of Sports Olympic Committees in Africa. Meanwhile, in Southern Africa, in the tiny kingdom of Lesotho, King Leste III has agreed to dissolve parliament. Those were the headlines. Tomorrow, March 8th, will be the International Day of the Woman, and preparations have gathered steam. The 2017 edition has as theme the woman in the changing world of work, Planet 50/50 by 2030. Across the nation, women are seriously making last-minute preparations ahead of tomorrow. Meantime, educative talks, roundtables, debates, and other recreational and charitable actions continue in different parts of the country. Education has been identified as one of the best means of empowering 21st century women so that they can participate fully in the development process of the country. This was raised at an educative talk organized in Douala by the organizing committee of the Economic and Cultural Festival, otherwise known as Foumban, to discuss the theme of this year's edition of the International Women's Day. More with Gladys Ambo.
Women at the top of the corporate ladder are still getting less paid than their male counterparts. Maternity leave, leadership roles, sexual harassment, and the class ceiling are other challenges which working women face daily. Women in general equally face threats to their lives, lack access to land and loans, yet a greater percentage of them are involved in the informal and agricultural sectors. These were revealed at an educative talk that was organized in Douala by the organizing committee of the Festival of Music, Arts, Industry and Trade Foumban on the theme of the International Women's Day, Women in the Changing World of Work, Planet 50/50 by 2030. It was, however, recommended that education is one of the most important means of empowering women with the knowledge, skills, and self-confidence necessary for women to fully participate in the development of the country.
Women faces many problems, and we have the problems in their education. We have in our country, in our traditional system, we have the discrimination in education between girls and boys, and now we want that in the family, in our house, we ask the parents to give the same education to the same education to the boys and the girls. Today you observe that we don't have many women in the elective posts in the politics, and we want the women to have the self-confidence. Yes, they have they want to have the self-confidence, because the education, the traditional education, one that gives women to be behind. We have also the economy. We have we don't have many women in the high level of enterprise, for example.
Participants also proposed that in order to attain the 2030 goal, women must reinforce their capacities, personally develop themselves, sensitize others, and stand as models for the younger generation to emulate. It should be noted that the theme of this year's Women's Day celebration, which calls on women to be bold for change, also encourages people to step up and take groundbreaking actions to help drive gender equality.
From the Littoral region, we'll be moving straight to the West region, where we are told by Lauren Ngameni that preparations are also in Foumban for tomorrow's great day. But which day is that? That's, of course, the International Women's Day. Lauren Ngameni.
Sport work, physical exercises. This is how the women of Foumban Noun Division, West Region of Cameroon, started their activities of Women's Day celebration. This sport work was carried out in the presence of some administrative authorities of the town. I had an impression that the women really wanted to relax. For that reason, us the men decided to accompany them because we know sport is good for the health. It is unfortunate several women didn't come, but nonetheless, everything went on well. I observed from this women engagement that the feast is going to be extremely nice. On the other side, at the Professional Center of Women and Family, other activities such as roundtable were organized, and the main debaters were women of the private and public sector. The exchange was centered around the theme of this edition, Women in a World of Work, Planet 50-50 by 2030. Other issues of the roundtable included methods of avoiding unwanted pregnancy, how to use contraceptive methods, and doing family planning. The fight against child labor was not left out among the topics of the debates.
We are going to start this panel today, but I want to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for having included us here. Now, with the permission of the chairperson of the subcommittee.
The women of Foumban are impatiently waiting for this day, while security measures are being reinforced for a peaceful celebration.
We know that tomorrow is International Women's Day, and what we also know is that women most often than men are victims of sexual abuses. In the following interview, we'll be meeting with Rosalind Fonkwa, who is in the film industry and also a producer of a film entitled Breach of Trust. It is a film that condemns sexual abuse against women. It is cinema's own contribution in the fight to end violence, and especially sexual violence against women.
My name is Rosalind Fonkwa Munjongi. I'm a businesswoman and a movie producer. I live in the UK, precisely in London. I own a business where I employ quite a few Cameroonians. And I have just recently produced the film called Breach of Trust. Breach of Trust is really talking about incest within the family setting, how we address it, and how the victims suffer. The film is really to raise awareness, to bring it up in public, let people talk about it freely, see what support can be given to the victim, and get to the root of why this is happening. I am here in Cameroon to work with my directors and to promote it. My main aim is to raise awareness so people can talk about it. People feel free to come out in public so that this can be addressed, and so this social problem is addressed. I'm hoping that this film will also be a means to help victims and to prevent people from becoming victims.
Well, that interview there was organized, was done by our only Emmanuel Bivrika. And from there we go to the Northwest region, where the Prime Minister and Head of Government, Philemon Yang, is on day 2 of his work tour in the Northwest region. Yesterday, he told the people of Mezam to send their children to school. Today, Mr. Philemon Yang is in Wom Menchum Division. And back here in Douala, workers of the Douala 3rd Council erected a barrier and carried out coffins this morning to stage protests over 3 months of unpaid salaries. The strike action took place this morning in front of the council at Lok Baba. Crystal Katala has more.
We are at the Douala 3 Council. All is not well. This morning, a coffin and workers dressed in black putting up frown faces for the unthemed time to express their anger over 3 months of unpaid salary, which they cannot bear any longer. Inside the building, offices are empty. They are outside branding placards which clearly transmit their messages.
Le 3 mars, c'était hier. Il y avait à l'ordre du jour.
2 weeks after the instructions from the senior division officer of Wuri asking the mayor to resolve our problems, the date limit was yesterday. He had to pay 2 months of arrears salary, and we are rich workers. Our arrears for the past 3 years have not been paid, while newcomers have received theirs.
On comprend qu'il y a un problème. Ils se sont rapprochés de la délégation du personnel.
Apart from unpaid salaries, the personnel of Douala 3 Council complain of lack of communication from their hierarchy. One of the workers prophesies that things are going to change.
Je dis désormais dans cette mairie, les travailleurs de cette mairie vont jouir de leur effort, de leur travail. Ça ne sera plus la souffrance.
The mayor of the Douala 3 Council of Mike brings some precisions and says that the problem with his employees lies elsewhere. Local authorities present at the scene looked for possible measures to calm tensions. According to some information received, the Douala 3 Council, out of 62 million francs of monthly salaries to be paid, can barely pay 30 million francs. According to some information received, the Douala 3 Council, out of 62 million francs of monthly salary to be paid, the council can barely pay 30 million francs.
Well, the problem of unpaid salaries at the Douala 3rd Council, but they are not the only ones who go without being paid, even journalists as well. But we'll be leaving Douala back to the West region, and this time around going back to Foumban, where there was a series of installation, and where and what were they installing? Lauren Gameni has more.
Fighting against early marriage, under-scholarization, and better development of the town of Foumban are the tasks that await the newly installed Development Committee in the Noun Division West region of Cameroon. They were officially installed by the divisional officer Etuambala. They are traders, they are hard-working men. Some are carpenters and others are laborers. They are people who are capable of doing many things with their 10 fingers. These men always come out with something positive. They are very ambitious. That is why he favored their installment today. Before the end of the event, the DO and the newly installed members went round to evaluate the work that awaits them.
This region will be going to the east, where the Minister Delegate of External Relations has called on the East Region Governor to reinforce patriotism, community life, and most of all, social cohesion. This was during the ceremony which marked the 2017 edition of the International Commonwealth Day in the Linguistic Center at Douala. Banlaf Modest has more.
The 2017 edition of the International Commonwealth Day have been celebrated in the East region of Cameroon in Douala under the theme Peace Building Commonwealth. During the ceremony, the Cameroon and the Commonwealth flag were hoisted to reinforce the spirit of patriotism in the population, this in the presence of the governor, Grégoire Mbongo. The Minister of External Relations wanted that this day should be characterized by the hosting of the flags here in Douala. The ceremony took place in the Linguistic Center. At the end of this brief meeting, we felt so happy that our center was chosen for the celebration of this event. The Linguistic Center is a symbol of our linguistic identity, that is, English and French. The theme of this year is Peace Building Commonwealth, and we know that in Cameroon this day, there are so many problems concerning our linguistic identity. The ceremony with the hosting of flags remind us that we need to respect our emblematic symbols. This year's edition falls in the context where Cameroon is presently facing a crisis in Northwest and Southwest regions. The Minister Delegate of External Relations used this occasion to call on the East Region Governor to reinforce patriotism, community life, and most of all, social cohesion. The ceremony was marked by the presence of the governor, his collaborators, the inhabitants, and forces of law and order.
Then from there, we come back to the Central region, where the right to education is one of the fundamental principles of human rights. Young pupils in Yaoundé were given lessons at the Center for Human Rights, Democracy and Development. More with Beatrice Ngamo.
Primary school pupils and secondary school students in the School of Human Rights, determined to face the society in future, as knowing their rights will go a long way to help them better understand and integrate into society. Going to school, that is the right to education, one of the fundamental human rights.
We want to make our children understand that they need to be educated. It is their right to be educated, because we usually have problems with parents who would like to abandon the child because the child is troublesome. No matter what, the parent has to hold to the end. So they should be humble enough to beg excuses from their parents wherever they went wrong, so that they should be forgiven and then they get their education.
To impact these children is the Center for Human Rights, Democracy and Development. For learning human rights bridges the chasm of despair. It liberates us from the prison of ignorance and empower us all to know, claim and make real our universal, inalienable human rights.
We have been doing it all over, especially in citizenship. We have been educating them on their rights. And then there is this NGO that came in. We decided to profit again and do it in a very different way, so that it should really stick to their heads that they have their rights and their rights have to be respected.
The reason authorities of Genius, Trilingual, Nursery, Primary School and College gathered all their children to receive this training today in Yaoundé. Brandishing the copies of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, these school children shows they understand where they are heading to. This training, it should be noted, is a follow-up of last month's training on human rights education by the visiting United Human Rights Team in Cameroon.
The government of Cameroon is backing the candidature of Colonel Hamad Kalkaba Malboum in the upcoming elections of the National Association of Sports Olympic Committee in Africa. The news was officially made public yesterday, as Tabby Clarkson tells us.
The presidency of the National Associations of Olympic Committees in Africa. The announcement of the backing was made this Monday in Yaoundé by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Lejeune Belambela.
Mr. Malboum has all the experience and expertise really to be a man of the job. So we are confident that he will do the job that Cameroon is expecting him to do. First of all, because our country is known as the country of sport. You witnessed last time when the Lions won the African Cup. Yeah. And secondly, as I mentioned it earlier, the candidate of Cameroon has all the merits which can make us believe that he will have a profile really to assume this responsibility.
Kalkaba Maboum, the actual president of Cameroon's National Olympic and Sports Committee, is very much pleased that his candidature is backed by Yaoundé authorities.
I would like to express my personal feeling, my personal opinion, to say that I would like to express my deep gratitude, my heartfelt gratitude to the head of state, who gave me his high confidence to allow the government to present my candidature to the post of the president of the ANOCA. My vision, I have the experience enough to say that I can offer my experience to Africa, to the African sport movement and to the Olympic sports movement.
Colonel Ahmad Kalkaba Maboum, who has spent over 40 years in sports management, is very much optimistic that he will grab the post. Elections will take place in May 2017 in Djibouti, and the winner will replace the Ivorian General Lassana Balenfo.
South Africa's Football Association President Danny Jordan has pulled out of the race to be a member of the FIFA Council, and South Sudan's Chaber Gok Alei has also withdrawn from the race as he did in 2016, while Zambia's Kalusha Bwaya absconded the bid over the weekend. CAF has confirmed the eligibility of 10 candidates for the next week's elections. Athletic administrator and former Namibian sprinter Frankie Defash Fredericks has quit as head of the International Olympic Commission evaluating candidates to stage the 2024 Games. This follows allegation in the French newspaper Le Monde that he accepted money from a sports marketing executive accused of corruption. Mr. Fredericks has strongly denied any wrongdoing in accepting money around the theme that of accepting money. While in foreign affairs, reports hold that the King of Lesotho, Leste III, agreed to dissolve parliament as advised by the Prime Minister, with elections due to follow within 90 days. This decision comes 6 days after the Prime Minister Pakalitha Musilili lost a confidence vote in parliament. The country of 2 million people has been hit by severe droughts and also several coups since independence from Great Britain in 1966. An avalanche has struck the French ski resort of Tignes. Report says no one has been hurt. The avalanche risk at Tignes was said to be 4 on a scale of 5, and part of the resort has been closed to skiers for it has been snowing heavily. That was all we were able to put together tonight, and tomorrow you'll be meeting here Henry Kejang Aktembe. Have a nice Women's Day. to all women as well as men. That is a wish done in advance.